Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SYLBOURNE Show, and I've got a special guest, which you all know, and he's the man, the international DJ, Daddie Ernie.
And this is the world-famous Super Jam, and right now I'm playing you Morgan Heritage, Down by the River.
Woo! Yes. So, I think I might even sing, just hope Morgan Heritage don't mind,
Take it away.
The river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Listen, Daddy. Thank you so much for joining the show, man.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Roll the title. Welcome to the SYLBOURNE Show. Joining us today, we have Daddie Ernie, an international DJ and radio star, who will be sharing with us about his journey as an international and as well the state of black music in the UK as he brings reggae to the world. Welcome to the show, Daddy.
Respect, Silver.
Listen, man, was that the right introduction? Reggae to the world.
Absolutely superb.
Reggae to the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, that's our mission.
Listen, I'm glad that you're here because I'm so glad that as people saw the intro there, whereby, the Morgan Heritage song, I was really in the element. I felt like an international star. I tell my guys, I think I might not be here next year. I might be touring,
Well, people always ask me if I can sing, and I say, no, that's why I play records.
That's why you play.
So,
Well, we said More Life 2016. Good evening and welcome. I want to see some mobile phone turn on. I want to see enough light. So if you got a mobile phone, give me a signal for More Life. Turn on the mobile phones. And right now we want to bring on Tony on stage. She's going to sing the Jamaica national anthem. Tony.
Enough said.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. Daddie Ernie, you are. I've been in the UK since 1992, and when you come to the UK, your cousins, they take you different places. My cousins used to take me. They used to use me as an excuse to go out. I used to go to night moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And heard about guys like yourself for a while, Choice FM and all these different things. But then so busy studying at the same time, So you're like a legend.
Ah, okay.
From
Nice
my
one.
perspective.
Yes.
And a legend is from an individual perspective at the same time. But before I go any further, I want to tell us quickly about President Downbeat. I was fascinated about that.
Well, I was born in the UK.
Yes.
And, our parents came here. They had the grams, the radiograms. So we was into music from a very young age.
From your parents from Jamaica?
From Jamaica,
Yes.
St. Thomas.
Yes.
They're from St. Thomas in the east. And my father had a sound system. And So there was a group of us who used to live within just a small radius, roads backing onto one another. We kind of grew up. Some of us went primary school.
Yeah.
Some of us went on to secondary school together.
Yeah.
Some joined. And that time there, every youth had some sort of sound system.
Yes.
So our system was President Downbeat.
Yeah.
It was myself, my brother, a friend of ours called Ronald, whose father had a sound system as well, and another friend of ours called H. Niles, we used to call him.
Yes.
H. And we kind of play football and do all of the stupid things.
Yeah.
And we got together and we built this sound. And I don't know, we was probably about 15-ish them times there. And that was our first big sound, because we used to have a little table sound, just used to mess about with. But that was our first big sound. And we just called it President Downbeat. For whatever reason, I don't know, but Downbeat was a very famous sound name at that time, the Downbeat.
Yeah, because if you try to travel down beat.
Yeah.
Oh, I grew up in Jamaica, going to high school in York Castle. The buses used to have different sound systems.
Yes, yeah.
And you have guys like Joe Lickshot Jr. and all those sort of things. So I sort of grew up on it.
So over here, you had Sir Coxon Downbeat.
Coxon, yeah.
You had Jute Reed. And everybody was a Downbeat. I suppose it was the base end of the whole
So you were the president or
president-elect?
We was president-elect or president?
No, we just come straight president.
Come
no
straight
one
to
elected.
no
No one
elected.
ever elected. Just boom, straight up in President Downbeat. And we had a nice little following.
Yeah.
You know, all our school friends. Although
What's up on Facebook?
WhatsApp, we just about had a telephone box. I wish, you know, sometimes I say to myself, if we had had all those things open to us when we was kids, we would have landed on the moon ages ago.
You know, it's so funny. I mean, I just jumped there a while ago, but then I have to jump into a little thing whereby the following aspect. What was the following like at that time? How did people follow you? Is it like when you have dance or sound? Or
Well,
how did that go?
you just my sound
Yeah.
that I used to follow was a sound called Trojan.
Yes.
Who was the sound? There was a record label called Trojan Records.
Yes.
And that sound there was the official sound for that label. So as kids, they used to play a couple of miles from us, a place called Burton's in Cricklewood, and we used to go there every Friday. You know, we had other sounds that we never used to follow, but we used to go. But that was the sound that we used to follow.
Yes,
Wherever
yes.
Trojan went, we went within reason. You know, because obviously we weren't driving or anything, and so we had to take public transport. But
So this is a bit like Stereo One,
yeah,
Jack Ruby.
yeah.
I'm from Otria,
Yes.
so I know about Jack
All right.
Ruby,
So Jack Ruby had his followers. You used to follow Jack Ruby by any means necessary.
Fat Jaw operator.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So and that's how we used to get our following. So it would be a thing of, oh, where you playing tonight or next week, and the word would get around. And people just, you know, because we was at school as well, we used to do like little school parties. Our friend was having a party, we'd play for them and that. We built up a nice little following through
But those
the years,
times were very nice, wasn't it?
Wicked, absolutely wicked. Because we was young, there was no inhibitions.
Yeah.
Some great music, because, you know, the whole reggae was starting, although it wasn't known as reggae then, it was ska and rocksteady, blue beat, and the earlier part of it was starting. So, and we was right at the forefront of it. So, you know, it was, and we didn't have no problems, you know, because our parents we used to get food and everything. So all we had to do, we get a little pocket money, we buy some music.
Well, as you can see, you know, today I have to honor you, you know, that's why I've got my microphone.
Well, I can rest assured it wasn't a microphone like that we used to use when we first started out.
What was it? What was that called? What was that called?
Oh, that's a very modern microphone. I can't even remember what we used to use, but it was nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
That's for
awesome.
sure.
But listen, you know, the viewers and your fans out there, you know, like myself, you know, we see people with names, you know, Daddie Ernie, you're on the spotlight in the airwaves. But the question is, who is the man? Who is Daddie Ernie? Is Daddie Ernie your name?
No. You know, my name's
Guys,
Ernie.
he's not Daddie Ernie. He said no, he's not Daddie Ernie.
No, my official name is Ernie Harriet.
Ernie Harriet, yes.
Yes, part of the Harriet clan, which is an enormous family, actually.
Yes.
You know, you go on Facebook, you see loads of Harriets. But it's the one that was spelled with the I-O-double-T, because you got the one with one T, or you get Harriet, but this is Harriet with two T's. Right. And once you see that, there's some sort of linkage somewhere along the line. Daddie Ernie came about, my first radio station was a station called LWR, which was like the first black radio station way back in the 80s. And Daddy Hugh Roy, the great Jamaican DJ, MC, rapper, whatever they call him nowadays, he was the top man. So I thought, Ernie Harriet's not really a radio name, you know? So I just thought, you know what? I'll just call it Daddie Ernie. So, and that's how it came about.
Because I was even calling you Daddy by D-A-D-D-I-E.
Oh, no.
And it's when we do the research, I say, oh, right. Oh, why?
Why? Well, that's, you see, because that's old time spelling. I-E is the new time spelling. But originally, if you look, you see Daddie Euro is D-A-D-D-Y.
So if a person is like as a Ninja Man fan and say that's the original old gold teeth, the original, the real pie.
Yes, yeah, you know. A lot of people first used to ask me, "Have you got a lot of kids?" You know, because they hear Daddie Ernie. I must have a whole heap of kids. That's why I call myself. Nah. That's how it came about. I was just on the radio, LW. I went to do my first show, and I thought, yeah, man, I'm just going to call myself Daddie Ernie. And bam, it just stuck.
Yes.
You know?
And what was it like, I mean, you know, with your parents and everything, and, you know, through that period of time, you know, with the changing over of different music and different stations, what was that challenge like during that early stage? Well,
you know, they, you know, I grew up with my mum, you know, rest her soul, you know, passed away earlier on this year. You you know, I grew up with my mum, and we was kind of, we just done our thing.
Yes.
You know, so when we had the sound system, you know, it used to be sort of, if we was in the bedroom playing records, it'd be it probably happens in all households. Turn down that music.
Turn on that music.
Make too much noise and rare.
Well, even like myself earlier, I was saying, turn on the music, mind the neighbors.
You know, but as far as the sound system thing goes, we was kind of in our teens. Not that she didn't have no control over us, she did.
Yes.
But we just used to do, you know, there was a lot of youth clubs and things like that in those days. So we just used to go and do our thing, you know. When the radio came around, I was, you know, as a big man, I was just coming into my 20s. So really and truly, I used to say I'm on the radio, and she couldn't work it out. Oh, what do you mean you're on the radio? What you doing on the radio? You know, but after a while, you know, it got more popular, and I just done my thing, really.
Yeah.
You know, she never came to one of our radio shows or anything like that. And we just got on with it.
Yeah.
You know, so there wasn't no really, you can't do this or you can't do that. It would have been interesting if the old man was still around.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he's still alive now, but if he was around and grew us up, it'd be interesting to see how he would have operated, because they were very strict. You know, the men, our dads were very strict.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We would be playing on the road, the car would come around the corner, and we just fly back in the house fast.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So it'd been interesting to see if we could have gone out late at night and gone to the clubs on Friday nights and things like that if he would have stopped us. But, you know, fortunately, we didn't have that.
Hi, my name is Grace Mitchell, and I'm from Birmingham, UK. I'm 40 years old. I'm a mom of 4 beautiful daughters. I'm also a daughter to a wonderful and supportive mother. I'm a hairdresser for the past 22 years. So at the moment, I am a consultant in an international conglomerate business where we offer the opportunity for people to experience financial freedom. It's a health and wellness business where we help people to look and feel better. I've got a few products here. My name is Grace Mitchell, and that's my story.
Sort of go to Jamaica at times?
You know, for many years, in my young years, I never wanted to go to Jamaica, because Jamaica was the politics in Jamaica, which you probably grew up in the 70s and the early 80s, was very vicious.
Michael Manley and Siaga,
PNP, JLP. It was very vicious, and there was a lot of deaths and all that. And I thought, our parents used to tell us how Jamaica was when they were young.
Yes.
You know, they used to go downtown, and it was a week, a day out, and it was, the streets were clean and rare, and we used to get these images of pure madness going on, and I was terrified. I said, no, man, I'm not going to that place. And eventually, I went there early 80s, I think, or maybe mid 80s. I went there. I thought, all right, let me go.
Yeah.
And I went there. And as it happens, the first time I went there, they had a petrol dispute.
Petrol, I think, what year was it again? What year
It's
did
got to be in the 80s.
I know, because I think I walked home from school that time, from Brownstown to Ocho Rios.
All right. And we were staying uptown.
Yeah.
But in the day, we used to stay downtown. So we went uptown to rest the night. We woke up in the morning. There's a helicopter up in the air. You can't get downtown. The road is blocked. It's chaos.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is what we was hearing about. But we never heard no gunshot. You know? And I thought, no, man, I'm not coming back here. And when I went there and I came back here, I had to go back there a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And when I went back the second time, we just had a fantastic time.
Yeah.
And I thought, it ain't too bad.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into it and, you know, meeting the artists and going to studios and doing that. And I really got involved in it. And I used to go 3-4 times a year because we didn't have internet and things like that. So you had to go and get the records.
Right.
If you wanted to be on top of your game, you have to go and get them and let people see you getting them. You're down there and you're busying up yourself and
God used to say, as a saying, a lot of tunes bust in the UK, London first, before even Jamaica.
Yes.
Is that
in the, well, what you had people like Sugar Minor and Errol Dunkley and Gregory Isaac, who was very big here, but and they were all right in Jamaica, but they used to have that international flavour, which was big here with the Lovers Rock artists. So there was tunes that used to break here before they break in Jamaica, but make no bones about it. If it don't break in Jamaica, it don't break here. Even nowadays, really and truly, for a tune to really break, it's got to break in Jamaica.
Yeah, and with the whole advent of social media and the internet now, and YouTube now, it is more quicker.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for that, Art. Now, the bit about when I introduced is bringing reggae to the world. Is that your agenda and your drive? Reggae to the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm part of it because reggae is very dominant in the world now. Anywhere you go, reggae is there. Most people say, yeah, I know, but everybody knows Bob Marley, but it's a lot bigger than that now because you can go to America and hear bands playing and they don't look like me and you, and they're playing some serious reggae.
And Red Light, Stoplight, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody created music. Justin Bieber, I think.
Everybody, all these a lot of these pop artists, they have some major influence is reggae, So when I say bringing it to the world, it's very much in the world. But my drive is for people to see me bringing reggae to the world, and that way it's not really just. Because if you come to my gig, I'm not wholly and solely playing straight up reggae.
Yes.
I might play a little bit of pop in there, and I might play a little bit of soca.
So that is just to critical balance.
Yes.
But really and truly, if you had your way, strictly reggae.
Strictly reggae.
And is that reggae, which is, reggae sometimes can be an umbrella for dancehall. People sometimes just make it a bit generic. Is it the generic term you're talking?
Yes. Anything to do with reggae. So if it's Movado, if it's Vibes Cartel, which is for Vibes Cartel, and that's what they term as.
And in the dance, people jumping off a soundbox onto people.
They do what they want to do. You're not getting me
you
jumping
just play
off.
The music.
I just play
you
the music.
stay in a secure zone.
Yes, if they want to go on crazy, that's up to them. And you got your singers.
Yeah.
Nowadays you got your Romain Virgos and your Chronics and people like that. They're singers, so it's one big melting pot. And I'd say we don't want to differentiate. So that, because some people think that bashment isn't part of the dancehall, and reggae isn't part of the dancehall. But, reggae is the umbrella, and then you have all these other little bits in between it, which makes up the whole reggae spectrum.
Right, so because, as some will say, like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Culture, and all those guys, those are original
Roots.
Reggae music. The others are, bashment and dance. But you see that as a part of the family of reggae.
Yes, definitely. Bob Marley was good, but he's to the detriment of reggae because a lot of people think that since Bob Marley's dead, there's no reggae. You know what I mean? And they have a bit of a misconception because when I was young growing up, Marley was there, but my hero was Dennis Brown.
Yes.
And a lot of people from my generation will tell you that Dennis Brown was their hero. And if people are really looking into themselves, they would realize that Bob only became big in the community when he died. Because when he was alive, he was all right, but he wouldn't be ahead of Dennis.
Right.
Dennis, and he even said it. He's on record as saying that Dennis Brown is his artist.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? Dennis Brown was our hero.
Yes.
So, money in my pocket, let me down easy, the whole thing. You know what I mean? His catalogue is phenomenal. But, Bob got the push, and Bob was the international face of reggae.
No, that's interesting.
We're in the midst of royalty here at the Indigo O2. After 5 years hiatus, they are back with a tremendous album. Here comes the Kings. Here comes Morgan Heritage.
So therefore, I can see that with the original, seed which was planted, of course, from the family, and the sound system, you must have had some influential figures then, I mean, in reggae music that you've met, I mean, in the whole reggae family.
Well, you know, I always say it's been a privilege for me to be in this business.
Yes.
Because people that I used to hear coming out of my mum or my dad's gram, or used to play on his sound, like Toots and Owen Gray.
Yeah.
These people, I've met them and I've interviewed them, and we're
Yes.
like brethrens.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What, Owen?
Yeah.
That's how me and Owen Gray converse.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And Derek Harriet and people like these are people that I've actually met, and over the years we've just built up a little thing. You know what I mean? So we've been very fortunate in that term.
So let's say now, before I go and take the break, what have like the reggae music and the inspiration and the reggae to the world, how do you see that within like the black community as a strong force, if anything, of pulling together?
It's not as strong as it was when we was kids, because there's a lot of other influences. You know, there's you got your rap,
Yeah.
you got your pop.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of other influences going on. Whereas when we was young, you had reggae, and our version of, say, rap would be Motown, which was very close to reggae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and there was a lot more togetherness as kids. There's a lot more tightness.
Tightness, yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowadays, you know, if I mention somebody like Toots to one of these youths, now they go, "What are you talking about?"
The history and the heritage is not there.
It's not there. Whereas when we was growing up, we grew up with the Prince Busters and the Tootses and the Blues Busters and that. We grew up with them and we knew about them. And then we had the main part of it where you had the Bobs and the Dennises and the Gregorys and people like that, and Errol Dunkley and Delroy Wilson and people like that. We grew up amongst that, you know, and they were our heroes.
So therefore, Daddie Ernie, that is a part of black history which need to also be pronounced or to be profound and to be spread.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. You know, I think people always say the golden era, they call that the golden era.
Yes.
But in between the golden era and now, it's like after Bob died, there was nothing going on.
Yes.
You know, and now we've got a little roots revival, as they call it, but that roots revival was always there. It never went anywhere. There weren't no revival.
So that's why we need Daddie Ernie to keep there and to keep promoting
Well,
reggae to the world.
for as long as we're alive, we're taking reggae to the world.
Fantastic. Listen, Daddie Ernie, thank you so much for that bit there. Now, join us next week where we're going to come back and we're going to talk more to Daddie Ernie about the state of black Britain and state of black music. And I'm going to touch on a little politics, if he doesn't mind.
Well, America's got that.
Yeah.
You know, black America is very powerful. You know, you know, you can say what you want about Obama, but they got him in. You know what I mean? We're miles away from that here.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen in our lifetime. Get that.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share and like, and don't forget to comment, but first subscribe.
No, wait, 1 second. Wait to hear something. 1 second.